Greetings, everybody. Hello, hello, and welcome to Behind the Veil. Lord, this is going to be a dynamic one tonight. It's going to be a good one. Y'all come on in and be prepared. We are going to have a wonderful time tonight. I have a marvelous guest that we're going to share, and we're going to be informative about everything that's happening. I pray that you guys have had a wonderful week and that you are having a blast of a time. Listen, tell everybody, come in. This is the video premiere of the song called Beautiful, Beautiful to Me. And this is the video premiere. Greetings, Bishop Scott. You're going to love this one. Go on and get your wife and sit down and look at her while the video is playing. Ain't nobody playing with you. Valentine's Day is next week. And so this song was written a year. My wife turned 50. And this was going to be what's going on, OG? This is one of the songs. This is the song that was a gift for her on her 50th birthday. And it went over so very well. And it is just so perfect for this season of loving each other and being beautiful. And so this is the CD premiere. This is the video premiere. If I can get this thing to work, I told my guest, Dr. Taylor, that this is the first time I'm playing a video. And so we're going to try to see what in the world is going on as we try to add this to the stream. But hey, welcome. I'm Stephen Williams. They call me the good bishop, and ain't nobody good but God. Nobody's good like him. And this is Behind the Veil. So check this out. It's going to be on YouTube. You'll be able to access it at SLW Behind the Veil. Go on out there and listen to it. Add it to your playlist and just chill for a minute. And here is the song of the week. It's called Beautiful to Me. It was written again for my wife for her 50th birthday. And this was my gift to her. And it ended up being just an absolute wonderful, wonderful event. So y'all give me a moment and I'm going to see if I can do this and share this and do this just right. I did it earlier. She's on tonight. I did it earlier. So I'm praying that this come out right. But we getting ready to add it and see what's happening. This is the video premiere. And y'all, I forgot to tell you all, it's just a content. It is a content video, okay? It's not professionally done. We don't have everything swooped in. This is just me. All this is done in the cave by yours truly. And we're going to see what it does, and we're going to enjoy it. Now, let me see if I can get this thing in here. Yeah, there we go. And we getting ready to play it, and I hope y'all can hear it. Let's see if we can get all this done. Let me see. Can I play that from here? Do I play that from here? Let me play that from here. Is it playing? Uh-oh.
It's just like the sun coming up in an early morning breeze. It's just like the waves of the water coming in from the sea. It's like a refreshing shower at the beginning of spring. Oh, you are so beautiful to me. Oh, you are so beautiful to me. Well, it's just like the snow coming down when winter is coming in. It's like the changing of the leaves on the trees when autumn begins. Just like water from a mountain that creates a beautiful stream. You are oh, so beautiful to me. Oh, you are yeah, beautiful to It's the way that you love and the way you smile. It is your heartbeat for all the world to see. You're so beautiful to me. Ooh, you are so beautiful to me. It's like finding a light with darkness around. It's just like finding a voice when there is no sound. It's just like winning it all when it looks like defeat. You are so beautiful, beautiful to me. I'm just saying, you are so beautiful, beautiful to me. It is what I see, but it's also what's inside. It's the way that you love and the way you smile. It is your heartbeat for all the world to see. You're so beautiful to me. Now when God started speaking, the lights and the trees, it was the Omega in him that saw your destiny. And when he saw your beauty, he called everyone around, come and see. God said, beautiful to me. God said, beautiful to me. I totally agree, 'cause you're beautiful to me. Beautiful to me. I hope the whole world can see just how beautiful you are to me. You are beautiful to me.
Lord have mercy. That's the video. Lord, let me remove that right there. That's the video. That's the video, y'all, of Beautiful to Me. I hope you all enjoyed that. That is the song Beautiful to Me. It's on YouTube right now at the SLW Behind the Veil. Clap, 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 clap. Thank you, Charlene. You're so sweet. Thank you. Listen, I hope y'all enjoyed that. This is our song of the week. We're preparing for the Valentine's Day. We'll be playing it all week long. We'll be playing it, and just look at your wife, Jerry, and just tell her, you beautiful to me. You're just beautiful to me. All right, Coleman. Thank y'all so much. Listen, wait a minute. I'm gonna make y'all laugh. I'll be on the road. I'll be taking engagements. I'll be on the road, but I got to be back by Sunday. I got to be back by Sunday. I'm gonna take Mr. Taylor with me. We going on the road. We gonna sing. Hey man, in between his jobs. Listen, I have a wonderful guest tonight. Thank you all for joining me. Again, welcome to Behind the Veil. I'm Stephen Williams. They call me the Good Bishop. Nobody's good like our God. And I have an excellent guest tonight, as we're going to talk about and share about what we're doing with the city manager. And he is consented to be here and hang out with us on Behind the Veil. Would you all give a hand clap of praise to Mr. Johnnie Taylor? He's here with us tonight. Welcome.
How you doing, Bishop?
Man, I'm doing good. Thank you so much. We real laid back here. I forgot to tell you that in our introduction. We real laid back, and we're gonna have fun, and it's gonna be good. And so to my audience, I don't have a bio. Y'all know how we do. We go back from the beginning. We go and we find out. But I found out that his position is the assistant manager and of the city, the manager of the city. And I wanted to know, because I was told that managers do an excellent job and they actually help run this whole thing called the city. And he consented to be a part of this. And thank you to his team for allowing us to come, for allowing him and getting him on here. And I appreciate it. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Now, in order to be a city manager, do I have to have a degree? And if I do, what college did you go to?
Well, to say that you have to have a degree, I wouldn't say that with certainty.
Okay.
Is it helpful? Absolutely. And it prepares you for many of the challenges that you face. I actually went to several locations, but most recently, I did complete a bachelor degree in business administration with a concentration in engineering management. And so I also have a degree in computer science as well. Now, that's just some of those things we gathered along the way. But yes, absolutely, the degree is while it may not be essential, it is definitely very valuable to you. Yes.
So y'all, that means he got 2 degrees so far. He's smart. I just want y'all to know.
Well, I had some real kind instructors.
Is that how we gonna go with it?
Well, you gotta always have grace in there. I mean, trying not to think too highly of yourself.
Now, how he and I got together is that, and she probably gonna kill me, but Angela Lindsay was my administrator, and at the same time she was working for Mr. Taylor. And that was a part of the connection that because I've been hearing his name and she was like, Mr. Taylor this and both of us are bivocational preachers. So we work in the system and we work in ministry. And so he was whenever she would get a word, he would challenge her on what she heard from the word. So it was a dualistic thing. And I appreciate Angela for making this connection. And I was able to just text her and say, can I get him? She said, I'll look at his schedule, because she is your administrator in this new position, correct?
She actually still claims me as her boss, but she actually has another boss now.
Oh, okay.
She does keep my calendar for certain events that directly come from my departments where she's got a lot of familiarity. So she's still connected. I told her tonight I was gonna tell everybody how hard of a time I had working with her as far as trying to keep her straight. But you called her name first, so I'm kind of off the hook now.
Well, she knew I was gonna call her name. She already knew that. She knows me quite well, so she knows. Yeah. But I thank God for the connection and the connectivity and being able to do that. And so I've been hearing your name and not at least 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even longer than that. Where I was hearing about Mr. Taylor this, Mr. Taylor that, and I wanted to talk about your journey.
Okay.
And y'all both are so wrong. Angela on here talking about y'all both are so wrong.
Well, be okay.
You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. And so it is now. What was your journey? Because this was not your initial. When I was introduced to you, this was not your position. No. You were working somewhere else, and oh, y'all. And by the way, Black History Month. Okay, we're celebrating. Yeah. We're celebrating Black History Month, and this is one of the ways that we're doing it by celebrating men and their trajectory. And we're going to celebrate women and their trajectory. But we're doing Black History Month on this month. So he is our first guest for the 2023 Black History Month. And so how did you start your journey? So when you get out of college, did you want to be a part of city stuff? Is that how you started, or did you take another route to get to where we are?
Well, actually, at the time, I was kind of still taking college classes, and I had just gotten married. And one of my lifelong dreams was really to be a police officer.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Okay.
And so, I told you I was going to mention God several times in the conversation, but
Oh, yeah.
so I actually got an opportunity to go to the tryout for the police class. And so it was funny because, I at the time I happened to be in shape. I was actually younger one time. And so I had been talking to the Lord about it. I had just got married. I had a young baby. And, the bottom line was I needed to pause my education process at the time, so I could take care of my family. And so I said, well, Lord, just work out something. So my mind and my heart was set on that. And I went out there. I did everything that I needed to do. The same time, a job came open in the Department of Transportation. So
Okay.
I said, you know what? We're gonna shoot at both of these, but I really want to do the police department. So I went out there that day and I got ready to do my run. I'd done everything. Got to the running part, and for some reason, well, I already know now what it was. I could not finish that run.
Wait a minute. How long was the run?
Well, it was the typical, you take so many laps. And back in them days, we used to do the agility class over at Haynes Park.
Okay.
Over near Reynolds High School. And I couldn't get around there. I mean, when I think I got around there once or twice, and my side started killing me. And I'm like, man, I cannot believe this. So the gentleman at the time, he said, you've done everything else real well. He says, we might give you a chance to come back and you can just finish your run and then you can move forward in the process. So right after that happened, I was kind of down. I was like, well, this is what I really want to do. And all of a sudden the phone rang. So when I picked the phone up, it was like, well, you applied for a position in the Department of Transportation. We would like for you to come in to do an interview.
See, look at my people. See, they clowning you already. I told you my people I couldn't get over.
Yeah. Hey, I understand. You know what? You got company on this thing right here because I could not finish. And I was half of who I am today, and I still couldn't finish. But to make a long story short, the phone rang. I went for the interview, and then they said, we want to offer you a job as a maintenance worker. Okay.
Okay.
So here I am. I'm dealing with what I want versus what's available.
Yes.
And so, the law was like, well, go ahead and go with the maintenance work. Okay. Don't worry about crime fighting right now. So I did.
Wow.
And so I joined the city in 1992.
Oh, wow.
At an entry level position. Okay.
So you've been at this for a minute.
Exactly. So when I went into the Department of Transportation, I probably worked 3 or 4 years. I got a promotion there. I went to a crew leader position. After that, I worked a couple more years. I got another promotion and I changed and went to a position called vehicle for hire inspector. I worked in that position 5 years. That position had oversight of all your limousines, taxi cabs. That was my responsibility to inspect. Now, meanwhile, every experience that I had actually went toward preparing me for where I'm actually at today. And so, the thing about journeys is oftentimes we don't like the stages, but
Right.
along that pathway, you're picking up something. So I went from that vehicle for hire inspector, and check this out. Then the Lord allowed me to move back to the same department that I started at as the head of it.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
So this journey is not even about me as much as it is about what God can do.
All right. So time out. We like to call what we have unpack on here.
Mhm.
So there must be either leadership quality or some ethical things that you've done to be able to get those promotions. What are some of those that cause you to excel in to be able to be pushed? Like what are some attributes that people can learn from, in order so that they can excel on their job? What did you do other than I know you like to be on time?
That's big. If you show up every day, that's going to put you ahead of a lot of folks. The other piece is I didn't show up on the job as if I was doing them a favor.
Okay, that's good.
I realized that I needed to have the job, so I tried to show up. The other thing was I never limited myself to what my actual job requirements were. So if it was an opportunity to learn something different, then I went for it.
Oh, good. That's a good deal. So
Right, right.
you're not staying just in the same box. So
No,
y'all looking at that. So we're talking about having an ex. So we both kind of preachers. So we're gonna put it in. So you got an excellent spirit, and one of those is definitely time management. One of those is not treating your job like, oh, I'm just here. No, uh, it's a two-way street. Not only did they give me a job, but I have something that I want to bring. And then the third thing, he was trying to learn something outside of just what his job was. And we're
right.
trying to give people an opportunity. Look, it's working for him. Now he's back at the place that he started. And now he's running the place
Mhm.
where he first took the medial job to get in. That's bananas, sir.
Yeah, well, and that's how God does things. The deal is along the journey, I wouldn't dare get on here and act like that I was flawless
Right, right,
because
right,
I wasn't.
right.
That grace is a part of it as well,
Yes, certainly.
but it's certainly not luck. It's divine movement. So uh, once I went there, um, the reality of it is another opportunity came up in a totally different part of the city, and that was actually the sanitation department.
So
So
how do you know to take these chances? Are they just coming to you and you're saying so? Because when we talk about moving in God, a lot of people struggle in
mhm,
in success with knowing when to take that
right.
leap. You know what I'm saying? So are these opportunities just presented to you, or are you going after these opportunities?
Well, it's a couple things. Number one, as the head of my house, as the provider, as the protector, the spiritual head, I knew that it is my obligation. It's always been my obligation to try to maximize what I'm able to do for my family. So sometimes we think too much. You know,
Yeah,
God opens these doors, and what hinders us is us. So in other words, we sit down and try to say, "Hey, can I do this? Hey, can't do I know everything I need to know to do this?" And the reality of it is you don't. But here's my thing. If I said at the end of my life and I had 89 opportunities and I rejected all 89 of them opportunities, I'm gonna leave out of here not knowing whether I ever could have got through them doors.
I like it,
And,
y'all.
and so, the deal is, I was like this. I always had and I talked to some of the young people about this. Yeah, I'm basically an alpha when it comes to work. So in other words, I got a chip. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to try to do this better than anybody else.
Got you.
Now
Yep.
it's not an arrogant thing because, like I said before, all of us are flawed.
Yeah.
But I always felt like even if I couldn't do it, God could help me to do it.
Got you.
And so while I didn't go after every door that opened, and that's where your discernment comes in. That's where your talk with the Lord comes in. Every door that opens is not for you. Some doors are for you to just look in. And and so you just don't go in every one of them. But those strategically happen at times where I knew that this could not be just a random situation. It different, so many things lined up that I said, okay, this is beyond the natural here. And so for all of these things to fall in a row, this is God moving. So
So
let me
let me
start
ask.
in here.
Yeah, let me ask. So where did that come from? Where did that discernment to be like? Were you always this way, or were your family? Did you grow up like this, like with a discerning spirit, or did you learn that through relationship? Like, was mom and dad a pastor or something? Like, how did you know to move like this, or is it just innate within you?
Well, I always been in the building, but it took a while for the spirit to get in this building.
Got
In
you.
other words, I always been around the church,
Right.
but I had to get to that point where the relationship with him actually kicked in, and I started praying when I was. I'm going to say when I first got married, when I was 19, 20 years old, I actually got married at 21, but when I was in 20 years old, I was praying then for God to bless me and those connected with me. And
Got you.
so not only was I doing that, I began to pray then for my generations or for my seed. So I'm kind of big on that now. I was actually praying for my children, my grandchildren, my descendants back then.
Oh
And
wow.
so here's the thing, and I've learned how this principle works. If you take that kind of mindset, in order for them to be in that place that they need to be in, that means he's going to lift you or elevate you in some areas in order to prepare you
Yeah.
to get them where they need to walk as far as their destiny. So I wouldn't say that I've always had that, but it kicked in, and I said, you know what? I realized there's a lot that I don't know. So why not ask the Lord and learn how to feel when He's nudging me?
Oh, good, good, good.
I mean, I've wrestled with those moves. But then when I really sat down and said, well, okay, Lord, this looks like you doing this.
Yeah.
And it was. It clearly was.
That's good, you all, because we got to learn how when he nudges us, how to pay attention to that nudge, if you
Mhm.
will, because many of us are missing our blessing simply
Right.
because we won't move, and God or fear has set in, and he is constantly saying, be not afraid, don't be afraid, don't be dismayed. I hear it all the time. And so a lot of people sit around and complain and they do this, but I'm like, just pay attention to the nudge. He's trying to get you into that place. And I like what you said. In order for him, in order for the generation to be blessed, he's got to move you. So somebody's got to know how to function. I told them, make me wealthy so my generation will know how to live by wealth. You can use me. You can use me, Lord.
I hear you, Doc.
You can you can use me.
Yeah.
So that others, because somebody's got to know how to live. They live a, success. Success. I used to hear this all the time when I was growing up and in college. Success breeds success. So if you don't understand first class living, somebody has to have first class living first in order for it to trickle down to those kids. So anyway,
Yeah. And one of the things I also found out um, is when you're moving, when you're going different places, when you're being nudged into different places, your mindset has to be open to the fact that God is often moving you so you can impact some of the people at them other places.
I
So,
love it.
so
I
it's not even about it's not always about you. You know,
I
sometimes it's somebody you're gonna meet in
Yep.
a different place. Man, I've had situations where I went through a challenge and I moved into another place and somebody else went through that same challenge and I happened to be there at that particular point when they were going through it. So
Right.
it's all an intricate web. And you know, our ministry sometimes we are so church oriented as far as the building, and our ministry is in
Right.
you know, but our ministry is so broad. And if we just allow God to move us in different places, you would be surprised how much impact he can have.
Yep.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time. You know, a lot of people say, you know, everybody calls me a little church boy because they know I really love the church, right? But I'm bivocational for a
Mhm.
reason. And I don't like wear that badge, you know, I don't wear the bishop badge, you know, I don't wear my cross or nothing like that. But when I'm at work or when I'm in my other capacity, people are like, "Oh my God, here he comes." It's so much joy that's happening. It's so much, you know, I feel lighter when he's around. And I'm thinking, this is why I'm placed in these positions. Not,
Yeah.
you know, I'm here to effect the kingdom outside of the four walls. So you and I have this in common where we have to help the people in the four walls, and then we have to become what we need outside of the four walls to
Right.
be what God wants us to be
Exactly.
without that same, you know, God bless you. Jesus is the answer for the word today.
Yeah. That kind of stuff. You know, it's nothing wrong with listening to the Lord, but I'm a firm believer that you can live for the Lord and you don't have to write all that on your shirt and stuff. It comes out. And I don't want to make any mistake about this. I want to make sure that I'm clear when I talk about these moves that each time I had success, God always had people in those levels that helped with the success.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
a lot of times you know, people talk about their journey, but the reality of it is it was not your journey alone. And there were people
yep.
along the way
That helped you.
that helped me.
That's
And
right.
I will never deny that. Never
Yep.
forget that.
That's the truth. And
Yeah,
I think that's why God continues to help us become even more successful because
right.
we know who. I mean, it is a gift that we have, but there's a spirit of excellence that's definitely on your life. You know, when you start talking about what you're saying, being on time, because I've seen people have Jesus on their shirt and be 30 minutes late for everything, you know.
Right.
or or you take an hour for lunch and you got an hour and a half, and then you mad when you get challenged on that, you know. So it's also this spirit of excellence. It's also that God will give you help along the way to help you move and maneuver so that you can become a better you. And
Yeah,
I agree wholeheartedly with
right.
that statement. I agree
So,
wholeheartedly.
so I stayed there, sanitation department. I think it was 13 years, 12 or 13 years. And then I moved to another position, uh, titled the director of operations. And that's when you met me, I believe.
You were in over that department,
Yeah.
but you were over the operations.
Operation has several departments underneath that. And
Okay.
I stayed there
And
for
that's when the Lord sent Angela over
yeah,
there
yeah.
to get a job or something.
She was already with me at sanitation.
She was at sanitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she worked her way over there to operations. And I was over there 4 years. And then I moved to the assistant city manager position in July of 21.
Now we there, y'all. Y'all see the journey. So I
Yeah.
wanted to know. I wanted to invite him because, and shared some stuff with me. Thank you for getting us there. And he shared some stuff with me, and I did not realize that I saw online that there were two assistant managers, but then there is one city manager.
Yes.
And so I'm getting the structure, y'all, today. I don't know. But I'm told that city managers, assistant managers are very instrumental in the success of every city. So we don't hear about this. We hear about, oh, you need to be the mayor, or you need to be a city councilman, or you need to be the sheriff. But we do not hear how powerful the city managers are. And so talk to me about this position. I'm told it is it is the thing that helps run every city. What y'all do? Let's talk.
Well, let me start first of all with the city manager. And the city manager is hired by the council. And so we actually have 4 assistant city managers in the city of Winston-Salem.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
And
is
so
that based on the size? Does every city have 4 or
no,
is
some have less, depending on how the operations and everything is set up.
okay,
We just happen to have 4 at the time. And basically, what the assistant city managers do, are they actually help the city manager in framing the council's visions and strategies. And
okay,
so,
okay,
when the elected body has visions and strategies that the city manager is responsible for making happen, and the assistants provide the city manager with support. Now, usually assistant city managers have what's called a portfolio, and the portfolio are a grouping of departments for which that particular assistant city manager has oversight.
okay.
Okay. But they're all actually in the end. At the end of the day, the city manager is the top member of the executive team, and so the assistant city managers work with that individual person.
So now you said that the city manager executes the vision of like the city council. Is that how that
That's,
runs?
that's correct. We have what's known as a city council form of government.
Okay. And they
Right.
come up with ideas. Is this for new buildings? Is this for new highways? Are they the ones that's responsible for all of that kind of vision, or how does that work?
Well, we kind of work together, and then there are strategic initiatives. You've got healthy or safe communities. You got various strategic initiatives that we try to make sure take place. The council, they have initiatives that they support, and it is our role, to help them get those things accomplished. So we do all kinds of things as far as you've got your road systems that actually belong to the city versus those that actually belong to the state. You've got, of course, the various functions, law enforcement. You've got solid waste, utilities, sanitation, and so what happens is the day-to-day operation of the city that's actually overseen by the city manager and the assistants. So,
Wow.
so,
Okay.
so the department heads for those particular departments, the assistant city managers, the city managers, we help to oversee to make sure that they're carrying out those particular responsibilities.
So I should run for the city council if I want to have a determination of what I want to do in my city.
Well, you would that would be I guess valuable for you. But now what I didn't say to you is that basically the councils serve at the pleasure of their constituents. So basically, that's how our system works.
So I'm gonna have to get some people to
Yeah.
vote
Go
for me
ahead. Go
to go
for it.
sit on the council so I can come up with a plan so I can have some new how is that and now is that why there's so much new construction downtown with because it seems like it's a whole lot of houses that's going on downtown and there was a new highway that we just had you all were a part of that vision plan to get that executed, am I understanding?
Some of that can be state.
Okay.
Like some of the roads are. We get those calls sometimes about potholes. Some of the potholes are on streets within the city, but they're actually state-owned streets versus city-owned.
What you say? How we know the difference?
Well, there you probably wouldn't know the difference because it's not, you probably are not able to see the list, but there is a listing of those particular streets that belong to the state versus the city. So when we get a call like that, what we would do is we would route it to the state. If it's theirs and if it's ours, we go ahead and try to work on it.
So why does the state still have roads within the city? Like why do they not just relinquish that? If it's in the city limits, why don't you just give the city that road? Is
Now, Bishop, what you gonna try to do? I I can't say why some of them they don't give up, but the reality of it is even though they're in the city limit, they're also still in the state. So
well, now that is true. that is a true statement. It's still their state, so I guess they can keep whatever roads they want to keep. So I mean, we're having a lot of condos. There's a lot of buildings going up.
right,
I always wanted to know who comes up with that idea, who comes up with those plans. Is that the because I've talked to the mayor and I've talked to a few city councils, but I didn't know what their role was in the direction or the growth of the city. And does the city, so basically the city managers just execute the vision plan that comes up from the city,
right,
whatever.
right. But there's also a lot of research, and then there's a lot of strategic planning that we have to do to make sure that all of those plans come to fruition. Uh,
Wow.
so you've got, and you asked the question about condos. We have private developers, and
Okay.
they seek to do things, within the city. Uh, sometimes they interact with elected officials. Sometimes they come directly or straight to the city, but it's usually a partnership.
Got you.
And so everybody works together, and you see these things happening.
Got you. Because
Absolutely.
we see when like major companies are coming or
Hmm.
they are to my audience, you've seen them bid for a
Right.
city to have a factory or something. So are you all called in onto that, or that's higher level? And if then after it is decided, then you have to make sure the strategy or the strategic plan of that is actually executed and carried out.
Most of that would take place through the economic development department.
Oh
But
wow.
there is an assistant city manager that has oversight of that as well. So yes, the short answer, you would be a part of that process.
Yeah, and I'm going into all of this, you all,
Hmm.
simply to say to the young people, there are different ways that you can influence.
Right.
There are different ways that you can impact your city. You don't have to just be in one thing. There are so many other jobs and so many other places that you can aspire to be in college. Just don't get stuck at I need to be an engineer, I need to be a doctor, I need to be a lawyer. There are so many other ways for you to be effective and have impact in your city. And this just happens to be one of the jobs that I didn't know anything about. So
Yeah.
this is why I'm asking the questions the way I'm
Sure.
asking them.
Sure.
You know
And,
what
and
I'm saying?
public administration is the degree that a lot of people who function in this role, they kind of pursue, um, the MPA and or business ad. But there are a lot of different things, and I will say that the uh, the diversity in these areas has improved over the years.
Got you. Okay.
So don't I'm like what you're saying, Bishop. Don't sleep on it. There's some opportunities here, and I know you mentioned about engineers, but we need engineers.
Yes.
We
Yes.
need we need we need a bunch of them right now. So if you know any, tell
And
them.
now is that for though building buildings or what is that? So that's an excellent point. So what is it that you need to be able to help you do your job? And then is an engineer the person, because we found out there can be several different ways of an engineer.
Yeah.
We had a lady on, I think a couple of years ago, and I didn't realize she her degree was in, get this, she was an engineer and she handles the brakes on trains.
She's probably a mechanical engineer.
She's a mechanical engineer, but we found out her job, she just she tries to find new ways to stop trains. And I'm like, when you are young, you don't get these opportunities. You don't know these positions.
Right.
They kind of limit you
Mhm.
to what you can. You got to be a surgeon. You need to be this. But there are some powerful stuff. And so when you say you need engineers, what do you need them for? And then what are some of the other things that you need so people can affect their city?
Reading plans.
Oh, plans. Okay.
Signing off on plans, professional engineers.
Yes.
Cities always need those individuals. We need, I'm going to say we need equipment operators. So maybe you're not the engineering, that's not your thing. Maybe you like equipment. Well, that's big, because we need people who operate the heavy equipment when we're doing workout in the field. So we need those individuals.
Look at this joke is a clown talking about, Bishop, we see your Yeti cup. Yes, I have a Yeti cup. I'm drinking water tonight. I have a guest. They are clowns.
It's all right.
So you need people who operate big machines. Is that to build, plus people who read plans? Yeah. What makes an effective city? I mean, what makes, when I say that, and that's just a broad term, but as a city manager, what makes your city wonderful?
Well, you talk about the city of Winston-Salem. I think several things stick out. One, I think we've had a pretty stable community for many years.
Yeah.
There's a lot of innovation that goes on that has began to show itself. There are a lot of opportunities now. Just like anybody else.
Mark Jones, your cousin.
Oh yeah. I remember that song y'all had, like when an eagle fly. I can't think of the name.
Listen.
Yeah.
You what? Listen, let me side note about Mark Jones. Let me tell you what he did to me. Mark Jones writes the song. Okay, Dr. Taylor. He writes the song and he said, "Hey Steve, I need you to come." I take about 20 minutes, 30 minutes to do the song. It couldn't have been no more than 30 minutes. I don't know the full plan. Mark don't give me the full plan. All right. He says, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. He wrote the song. And next thing I know, the song is on 97.1. Mark done sent the song out that made me famous. I didn't even realize I was famous. I said, Lord, I'm singing on that song right there. That's me.
Mark's a sweetheart. That's my little cousin. We've been playing keyboards and stuff for years. So
Mark, he taught me how to play. What? Taylor taught you how to play? Mark can play too.
Yeah, he can play. I ain't done too much teaching. Mark was just on now, but he got it going on.
This is a great question right here, Dr. Taylor. Is it a point where you are too old to be an engineer?
Check this out. No. Absolutely not. It's not too late. I'm one of them kind of people who, if you can still move around, give it a shot. Now, first, of course, I'm going to inquire of the Lord, but I say give it a shot. Don't let anybody discourage you if this is what you feel like you want to do.
The guy who's asking the questions, Dr. Taylor, we talking about Ronald Big Cannon Patterson. You are not going to do no engineering. You be playing too much and something would collapse. you be somewhere joking, and you be right corner won't even be 45 degrees. So absolutely not. I want you to stay where you are. Bye.
Okay. Well, the bishop has spoken.
I want you to stay off of over there. No, let's find somebody else to be the engineer. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So, of course, we need just about people in any kind of role. And all I can say is,
When you say that, let's talk about what roles are you
okay,
referring to? Let's go
so
deep.
okay, let's go deeper. Let's talk about where I started. We need workers that may want to come in and learn some things as far as uh, equipment operators. We need individuals to come in who may want to move into some supervision positions later on. We need individuals with skills in HVAC,
Oh
um,
wow.
all of that, because we've got over 300 facilities that we actually maintain. So, people who are good with HVAC, and we need people who have skills in technology, because we got information systems, and people who are just a wide variety of things, planners and individuals who may specialize in marketing, or even from the financial world, accountants and technicians. So the sky is the limit.
Oh wow. And this is something you all that if you're gifted in these particular areas, listen, there are opportunities. What he's saying is there are opportunities for you, so you don't have to feel stuck. And you may want to listen to the nudge. If this is a nudge time,
Mhm. Yeah.
listen to that nudge. And if you have an excellent spirit, maybe this is a nudge where God is really trying to excel you, where you can be impactful in your city, because this reaches a whole lot of people, right? It's not just Winston, but
Yeah.
you have to look at this, and because God may be trying to get you in different areas to be able to help your city be a wonderful place. And I used to listen. Look, see, Taylor, my crew are clowns. I meant to tell you that. I'm sorry, Taylor.
It's okay. I like when folks
So
cut up.
listen to this question. Tell me, you need any stylists? No.
Well, I certainly don't. Uh, at this point in the game, but it's a lot of work out there to be done. That's one place right there. I don't think we have reached into yet. Uh, but who knows what might happen in the future?
These
So
are
keep the
clowns.
door open.
These are clowns. Lord Jesus. No, Cynthia. We talking about planning. We talking about planning for the city. We're not talking about cutting the people's hair and doing beauty salon stuff downtown. Oh Lord. I love my crew.
Yeah.
They keep it light. So how do you balance? I'm uh I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong check. Is this just for men? Great question.
Is
Is
this
this no, it is not. It is not just germane for men,
no,
Regina. This
no.
is an open thing when you start talking about planning, when you start talking about the engineering, when you start talking about all the need for your city. I'm gonna send Regina down there. Y'all will get a good laugh. I don't know what else she gonna do, but y'all will get a good laugh out of her. How do you balance? How did you balance? Because y'all, he's also a pastor, and he does, he, he, we both work secularly, and we do the pastoral role. And so, how did that shape you in your excellence? How did that shape you with you becoming, or did it have anything to do with that? Because we talked about the baseline of the Lord
Well,
divinely directing you, right?
I think one thing I have had to learn is how to maximize the hours that the Lord gave. So I knew He wasn't going to add no more. I
No,
had 24,
yep, it's all you
and
got.
and I needed to sleep some. So basically, what I have to do is I have to you do some things at lunch. Maybe I don't get to eat this time, which That ain't gonna kill me. I'm trying to cut that back anyway. But you have to learn how to maximize every moment
Got you.
in order to be successful. You can't waste a lot of time.
Say that one more time.
You
Just
cannot
say that
waste.
little phrase.
You gotta maximize your time, and you cannot waste a lot of time.
You look, and that is if I haven't learned anything else, what he makes me do it. He makes you do it. What?
She talking about the maximizing her time. That's what she talking about.
Oh, well, good. You know, that because that is crucial to being successful. I'm gonna tell y'all something. And I was sharing with him, and we're gonna talk about this in a minute too, because he's also writing music and doing books. But within he makes me do his work. Ain't that doctor? Now, see, I have nothing to do with that. I didn't say it, Dr. Taylor. That's Angela showing out. So
yeah, well, you know, I give her a lot of work to do some days. But
just to help her maximize her time.
Just to help her maximize her time.
But I was telling somebody, my daughter was asking me a question. She was asking me a question this morning, as a matter of fact, when we were on our way to work. I mean, when I was taking her to school, and she was asking me about, you know, about people being depressed, people being upset. And I told her, I said, one of the things that is problematic with people is that they waste a lot of time. Mm-hmm. And when I started, people are, you know, get upset with me because I'm not on Facebook as much, right? But that's because when you're trying to write a book, when you're trying to do a sermon, when you're trying to do your day-to-day stuff, and you're writing music, and you're making videos, and you're learning, you do not have a lot of time to be in a whole lot of other stuff. And you're still trying to read books that's outside of you know, the gospel, and you're trying to educate yourself, you're trying to study. So you have to figure out a way how to maximize what God gave you. And you won't believe how much work you can actually get done and get accomplished while you're doing that.
And, you know, I got, as I grew a little bit older, I became more wiser with considering rest time.
Yes.
That was actually just as important as some of the other things. So when we talk about maximizing time, you know, I learned the importance of trying to take better care of, you know, my body as far as rest.
Yes.
And how that can open the door for you to be even more effective. So balancing that's a lot of that stuff is trial and error. And I've had to learn some of those lessons the hard way.
Oh, yeah. 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 And you got to take care of your body, y'all. You got to look. Mr. Taylor has a spirit of excellence, Angela. So that means he trying to stretch you to do your time management. And you need more stuff because you're smart. So wait a minute, Dr. Taylor, let's turn it. It's because you're so smart and you can get stuff accomplished so quickly. We need to give you more work so that you can help manage your time. How's that? Did that work?
Yeah, that works.
She gonna kill us.
All right.
So let's talk about this. So y'all, he works as a city manager. All right. And now y'all see, she talking about I'm rolling my eyes. She talking about I'm rolling my eyes. Ronald, when I become an engineer, bitch, I will design your house just for you. Thank you so much, Ronald. Thank you so much for designing my house. I do appreciate it. I'm kind of big, so I need big rooms.
We can tell Mr. Patterson is a lot of fun.
Listen, he is a blast.
I know you. I can tell.
He is a clown. He keeps us going, and I love it. Ronald, join your city. and help your city. He lives in High Point, I think, maybe Greensboro. I don't know. High
Okay.
Point or Greensboro, Ron, right? And I'll be waiting for you to design my house. So hurry up and finish class, but don't finish too quick.
Right.
Make sure you learn all the stuff you're supposed to learn, because I don't want that house crumbling down on me. So Mr. Taylor also is like me in this context. All right. Yeah, he's from High Point. So Mr. Taylor, y'all get this. We have this much we do have in common, is that not only does he pastor, y'all check this out. This is bananas. You would think we were brothers from another mother. He does music. He has albums. Y'all, he has a book. I ain't even tell him I wrote my first book. I have my book. I'm on my third or fourth recording album, CD, and then he has one. So he's going to talk, and he works as a city manager, and he pastors, and he's a husband, and he's a father, and he's trying to help Angela get her life right. Amen.
Yeah, Bishop.
So tell us about your book, and tell us about the music, and what kind of music is it that you're doing, and all that good stuff.
So the book, it's a book that I wrote. My wife and I wrote a few years back, entitled "God is Up to Something."
Okay.
So you know, it's out there. It's published. You can see it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, all of these kind of places. And what it talks about is a health crisis that I went through that was the result of me not mastering the rest piece. Okay. And so the book kind of talks about what I went through, but it also, at the end, it talks about how God turned some things around. And I left kind of some pointers at the end of the book about how to deal with, how to deal with stuff when it comes in. Yeah.
You know Angela. All right.
I do know Angela.
She was on my podcast too.
Okay.
Right before she retired. We
Yeah.
got her on the podcast, and she told us about her being the number one and doing all that stuff. Angela, it's great seeing you. I hope you're enjoying retirement.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I tried to talk her into staying around.
Listen, she was talking about my time is up. She was like, Steve, my time is up. I'm out. Bouncing.
She felt the nudge.
She felt that nudge to be like, this is it right here.
Yeah. So, I actually completed that book, and I finished up writing on another project. I haven't released it yet, but I'm working on another. Well, I basically finished another book, and I've got to find me a good editor now. And then I hope to have that released within the next 6 to 7 months. But the name of that book is God's Redemptive Circle. And so it talks about salvation. It's kind of more on a theological side, but I think it'll be a benefit to, the body.
We're gonna write. I got another book in the pocket too. So when I finish with these videos and dropping this music, I've already started on my second book as well. So you and I have a lot in common. We trying to get this out. So when we go to sleep, we're gonna be empty. You hear me? We gonna be empty, because we try to manage our time, people.
Right.
But I agree with what Ron said. I love this. This is awesome, and it's Black excellence. Now I love that, and I love the fact. Now, have you gotten into this whole mindset of just excellence in every area? Is that you all the time?
I like to be, and in reality, sometimes I don't meet my own mark. And so it's not even so much about what somebody else is defining as excellence, as much as what my own personal mark of excellence is. So somebody might say, well, hey, that was great. But I never preached a sermon where I graded myself an A. Very rarely have I got a B-. Most of the time I'm C, D, F+. So my excellence my view of when I've done something great or done a great job is really it's very high. This is my personal type of marker that I use.
Yeah. Now I'm with you on that. I very seldom, I think maybe I've only done one sermon in my mind, maybe two, where I thought, okay, now that was a B. You did good on that. And one of
Yeah,
them was my mama's funeral. So
there you go.
yeah, I mean, that's the one that I can remember right off the bat.
Yeah,
And I'm like, but the rest of them, you're constantly striving
right,
because you do not allow what somebody else, you do not allow, if you're like me, you don't allow anybody to box you in to say what you can or cannot do. And I have I know you're like me in this context. I have some wonderful friends who sing way better than me, right? And I enjoy their gift, but I'm not gifted enough in that particular area to sing like them. And when I just said, you know what, I'm giving God the best I can do. This is the excellence that God has given me. So I took that judgment and snatched it out and just not allowed myself to be like, because if you look at other people, you'll never attempt to do anything. You'll never write a book if you're going to compare yourself to the other authors
right.
who are bestsellers, or the music if they have that. You'll never do anything. So I learned just not to do that and just do what God has given me in that space that He's given me.
Sure thing. And I mean, I'm the same way, Bishop, when it comes to music. I have to put out what he gives me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And there's a lot of artists out here that I really enjoy listening to what they do. But I'm just grateful.
I love that. Cynthia, that's the way it's supposed to be right there. All your sermons are A+ in my book because it's keeping me straight, and that's not easy. Yeah, but you better believe I'm working, and I'm like, I got to get better at it. I got to
Right,
do better. I got to have more information. I got to have a better delivery. I'm working at it, every day. I'm
right.
doing everything I can to get better. And I'm sure Mr. Taylor is like that. Bishop, that's what you just said about singing. Just help me more than you know. Yeah, because if you don't, one of the things that I had to do is stop comparing my ability to somebody else's ability. I can only do what I can do. I only have the gift that He gave me. And so I don't box myself. And that's why I just keep doing music. That's why y'all hear me doing music. I do my music unapologetically. It is not perfect. It's just what God gave me. And it may not be on anybody else's level, but I had to realize, who am I trying to satisfy when I
Right.
do that?
Yeah.
And I write my books. I do my sermons. I do my songs. I do all this stuff without anybody, without comparison, because the more you compare, the less you will accomplish.
Right. You gotta, my mindset had always been, I'm gonna be the best Johnnie Taylor that was. Now,
Yeah.
I always tell him, the other guy, he's gone on, so it's just me now. But I'm gonna do that better than anybody else. Nobody's gonna do me better than me.
Yep.
And my thing is playing. I hear a lot of folks out here that real gifted, but I've always had the mindset that I wanted my stuff to be. Well, when they heard it, they say, "Oh, that's Johnnie."
Got you.
I'm not trying to be, nobody else. I want to have my own distinct sound.
Now you'll be surprised, y'all. That song, "Beautiful," I did all of that. I think my son ended up doing the drum. He changed the drum, but everything else, I did it myself. And I'm not even a musician. I sent it to the musicians when it was over, and they were like, "Oh, you did good." Because you don't have time to do a comparison, to fix this and that. I just want to do whatever, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so, my first album, I know you asked me about what kind of music.
Yes.
It's entitled Diversity.
Okay.
And
So
it's
what does that mean?
Pastor Johnnie Taylor it's out there too. So it's a mixture of traditional, kind of a contemporary gospel. That particular album is, and so it's diverse, and that's kind of why I named the album Diversity. And so the one that I'm getting ready to release is actually uh, Christian rap.
See,
So
we on the same page.
yeah, so
I
I come up in that Curtis
Lord,
Blow and all them boys
not
when they
not,
started off.
not Curtis Blow, Lord Jesus.
That I was a little bored when they went into all of that, But the deal is, I'm trying to bring the message and the beat, so it's unique. Now I feel like I can go with it even in my age, because now all the rap boys, they done got old. The old school, they just as old as I am, so I can keep it going.
Liz, you are so funny. I got one that I play all the time, and we'll play it out. I was gonna play Beautiful again, but I'll play out because we have that same concept. I have beats and I have words. So I
Yeah,
call mine the crossover, where we're talking about where the music is one way. They use the music, but we also use the lyrically. We
right.
use that to be able to just give the message out, just
Yeah,
give the
well,
message out.
Pastor God said, he said that his word wouldn't return back void. He didn't say his beat wouldn't return back void.
You know what? I'm
And-
screaming right about
and
that.
see, sometimes when we get so sanctified, we make the beat a sin.
Y'all heard it from Dr. Taylor, from Pastor
Yeah.
Johnnie Taylor.
So it's the message. It's the message.
Well, good deal. So, y'all, we've learned a lot tonight. I want to thank you because you won't believe this. Are you ready? It's like we've been on here like an hour.
Oh my.
Yeah, I know it. It goes by so fast on Behind the Veil because there's so much for us. And you and I could probably come back and talk some more because there's so many other things
Right.
that we can do it. When I saw he was going to be on the podcast, Bishop, I was nosing and I went to his Facebook page, and he is an excellent musician. Oh, see, people done tracked you down, sir. People done track. So let me back up then. So you must play very well then, Dr. Taylor. You just trying to be funny. Is that
Now
what you're trying to do?
I don't know what she may have seen. Uh I'm okay. That's I'm okay. My son, he plays as well. It was kind of funny. He said, in case I was somewhere where he was playing, he said, in case if you ever want your organ to sound like that, he said, just reach out to me and I'll give you a few lessons. And I just busted out laughing. Uh, I'm okay.
Listen, I play enough to just write music. I don't play like you guys play. You and Mark and Goldsmith. I don't play nothing like that, man. I need to. I wish I should have stayed with that, but I just do enough to write the music, to write the songs, and then I send it. She said it was you and your son. You all were playing together.
Oh yeah, probably so. We were messing around one day and we just put a little video. He was probably on the bass and I was probably playing the organ or something. But we love music, and it has been very good to me. It's been times where along that journey we talked about tonight, it was a difference between Duke running in my house and cutting the lights off. So we give God all honor and praise for that gift as well.
Trust me, I understand that because sometimes that stuff it pays. It does what you need it to do.
Absolutely.
To get it done. Listen, you all, man, I thank you. So you have the a final word of encouragement or a final word, and I appreciate you coming on here, talking about all of these particular areas that you have, and so thank you for doing that. But the final words to anybody about the Spirit of Excellence, about the city management ministry, whatever you want to discuss. The floor is yours.
Well, I just like to say that any accomplishment that I've been able to be involved in has been the direct result of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ providing opportunity and blessing. And what I would say to anybody is, listen to negativity. There's always going to be somebody that's going to say, why in the world are you doing all of that? Why are you going extra? It won't pay off. But see, what they don't understand is God's word is true. It said, whatsoever a man sow, that shall he also reap.
Yeah.
So if I'm putting extra seeds in, I'm gonna get extra harvest.
I love it.
So what I would say is, don't let nobody discourage you. Don't feed on negativity. Do what God leads you to do, and you'll be all right. What'd he say?
Listen, he said something stupid, right? I truly appreciate these. Now, wait a minute, this is what he said. When you first said Johnnie Taylor was on, I thought, of Disco Lady.
Yeah, and that's why I made that clear that he has already transitioned.
Oh God, this joker is so crazy. I love him though.
And he's having a good time, man. That's what it's all about.
And we always do on Tuesdays. I truly appreciate these nuggets that you have dropped on us. I would definitely put them to use. I think this is absolutely wonderful. Y'all, I have had the pleasure of having Pastor Johnnie Taylor, Mr. Johnnie Taylor, hanging out with me. He's also pastor. He's an author. He is a musician. He writes music. He writes books. He is also city manager or assistant city manager of Winston-Salem. And he does all these things in the spirit of excellence. And we appreciate you. Wait a minute. I found this right here. Y'all, that's Johnnie.
That's okay.
I'm playing his stuff, Lord. Facebook that's him. He had it out there, so I played it. So I get the right to do that. All right. Listen, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining me. This was so good. This was one of the songs, man, that I did. This is gonna be on this is gonna be on the thing. This is what you talking about. And so y'all, it's coming out. I told you, Dr. Taylor. We on the same page.
Oh yeah.
And we gon' bless him, for his glory is due, and we gon' thank him, cause his mercies are new, and we gon' wait on the Lord, cause he always is true. Yeah, we gon' roll through.
It's all right there, bitch.
Y'all, we gonna do it. Dr. Taylor, I'm on your same page.
All right.
This is the new stuff coming up called Turn It Up. I love it. Listen, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I've had the pleasure of having this great man of God on Behind the Veil. I'm Stephen Williams. They call me the good bishop, but ain't nobody good like our God. And I appreciate him for being this wonderful guest. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, man. Thank you for being excellent. Make sure you continue to walk in your excellence. We are watching you. You are an example to us. And we are taking notes about our time management. We're paying attention to the nudge. And we're not going to be afraid of whatever God is going to do for us. And we're going to make, if you need anything on the city part, y'all, he is available. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. There are a lot of opportunities. And so thank y'all for joining me tonight for Behind the Veil. I hope you will go out and listen to Beautiful on SLW Behind the Veil and share that link everywhere that you can and let people know that you're beautiful to me. Listen, we got to get out of here. Yep. Both of us got a little gray somewhere. He got gray on his chin, and here we are bouncing. He said his word won't return void, but his beat. Y'all, we got to get out of here. This is the song. We gonna roll with it. We love him. We love him, and we go give him everything. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us. Wait a minute, Ken, I'm talking about Bishop. Do you need me to spit some bars? Oh God, I love it. I love you guys. We gotta go.
God bless you.
All right. Till the next.